Back to another episode of Pitch Practice, the show. My name is Mark. I'm the guy behind the Mental Marketer and the private Facebook group Funnel Building 101. We're doing it again, family. What? Brandon, welcome.
Good morning, Brandon here with BKXX Marketing, getting your company found by fixing that digital foundation. Just Google BKXX and start getting leads on demand.
And found. Yes. Laura?
You got Inky Morales, the one and only, always training, always improving, always inking a new franchise deal. Come on now, let's get it.
Come on now. I just realized that's your phrase, Laura. Come on now.
Come on now.
Hey, how's everyone doing today? Hey, thanks out there watching live. Hashtag live if you're watching live. Hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. Let's send this out to more people so more people can come out and listen to us and see us practice today. So what's new? What's new? We were talking right before we got on camera, and we're talking about closing. And what do you got for us, Laura?
All right, the one new close that it's not on the book,
Okay.
but my new manager, Jim Wallen, taught me. Well, he taught me a bunch, but he's sold over like 15,000 something franchises, and he's helped over 17 brands scale. And he was like, make sure you tell them if you do whatever it is that they're making you do that's extra, make sure you tell them, great. So after I do that for you, you're ready to sign and wire, right? Meaning you're ready to sign the deal and wire the funds. You're ready to sign and wire, right?
The sign and wire close.
The sign and wire close. So that's a new one. That's a good one right there.
You ready to sign and wire here, here, and here.
Here, here, and here. Yeah, that's right.
Nice. That's hey, I've got to write that one down. So what about what's going on, Brandon? I'll go next.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, oh man, the year started off like a rocket ship. It seems like a year ago. I remember I don't know what it is. Okay, I'm not saying anything, but it's just come over me last year about this time of year. I'm feeling a little bit not 100%. That's all I'll say, right? But so it's been keeping me busy. I've got some a new offer we're working on. Got some funnel builds, and then tell you guys about an experience that I had last week, and it was a bad sales experience. I was on the receiving end of what I considered to be, okay, so when you've got power in sales, sales is powerful, and when you're a salesperson or a closer, you recognize those things in someone else's presentation, and it's something that I've always had a problem with, actually, but I've reconciled it, and I'll call it what I call a manufactured pain. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's manufactured. Someone will say something and it's meant to plant those words in you. Okay, so here, words like confused, stressed out, things like that. Have you ever encountered something like that?
Not particularly, no.
No? Okay. I encountered that this week. And I did it. And this was from someone who claims to be a 7-figure salesperson. I wasn't gonna mention it because they might. What'd you say?
Give us the experience. Come on now. You're like taunting us with it. What was it?
Because they might be listening, but if they're listening, I'm not saying any names. So I'm on I'm on a call with this person, and it's not a sales call. And they start to dropping these words in the conversation. Um, how how frustrating must that be for you? How how uh how frustrating that must be for you with the saturated market the way it is at this point. So I understand the sales process, and I understand how it's taught to, agitate a problem, and also they say that you take a knife and you take the knife and you screw it in, right? Have
Mm-hmm.
you have you heard that?
Yep.
And I and it felt that way to me. It felt that way to me, as if I was being trying to put a knife in and actually trying to turn it like this. I didn't like that feeling though. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I had a call or a follow-up call last week. I had reached out to learn about this licensee program from one of the top sales training companies in the in the US, and went through it. It was kind of by the book with the pitch, the closes, and we kind of had a well, excuse me, a little bit of back and forth with kind of where I'm at in the buyer's journey and all that kind of good stuff. Um, and got a follow-up call,
Mm-hmm.
and like the gentleman had music going on in the background, and I did check to make sure it wasn't my phone, because usually I'm watching a video or something like that when I get a call anyway. Like, nope, wasn't my phone. And we're trying to have a conversation and the music playing in the background, and I politely asked him, "Hey, can you turn it down?" And I don't know if he heard me or didn't hear me, because the music didn't get turned down. He asked me a question. I started to respond, and then the music just got louder. I just hung up on him. And this is for a deal. It's not cheap. I mean, it's a high ticket close, and you're coming at it in an unprofessional way, with inability for the prospect on the line to, one, speak, and two, you able to listen because of the environment around you. So yeah, they lost a good chunk of money, at least in that transaction um,
Mm-hmm.
time. But it doesn't mean I wouldn't go back, because I want to do the program anyway. But it's just, had that been a more capable buyer, like, they probably would have just turned away and never done business with them.
Mm. Oh wow. Sales environment
Yep.
and being present during that interaction with you. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, interesting. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Oh, it's interesting that this incident happened to me because I had someone approach me, and they I don't have it right here with me, but um I had someone bring me a book that you might like it. I don't know if you might like it, but it's a book about ethical sales. And
Who's
who's it by? Okay, it's by and that she mailed me a copy of the book. So I'm gonna give a shout out to her, and it's called Sell Like Jesus.
okay? Okay. I'd like to see that book. I'd like.
Sell Like Jesus by Deb Brown Mayer. Give me a second. Let me grab it real quick, okay?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Let me grab it real quick. Hold on. Let me all right, hold on just 1 second here, real quick.
It's time to wake up, Laura.
I know, right? You'd be like, woo, shake it off. That's why I'm on the treadmill. So put a treadmill
Wake
right.
up, wake up, wake up. Check it out. Check it out. Can you
Sell.
see that?
How thick is it?
Oh, It is, oh my gosh, I'm already on chapter 7. It's about 100 pages, and I was interested to read this too. And check it out. Check it out. You know me, signed copy straight from
Wow.
the signed
There you go.
copy straight from
Do,
the author.
do me a favor. I'd like to, I know you've been highlighting. Just go randomly through the book and
Uh-huh.
read us 1 or 2 highlights.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so I did, you know what? I put notes, and actually we're gonna be talking, so I'm gonna interview her and we're gonna talk about it inside of the book of my the group. But there was one thing that I had made a note. Okay. I had one note. So you want me to read something?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I had made this note, and it was a really okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So we're just gonna say where she says, okay, why sell like Jesus?
Mm,
Because because Jesus is the ultimate model for how to establish, build, and maintain meaningful relationships. When we
mm,
view when we view sales as a specialized form of relationship building, our perception of what sales really is already shifts from something ugly to something desirable. That's the little teaser that you get. And then well, yeah, because okay, like a lot of people, there's this this image that some people have about sales, and she talks about having that image of sales and not and being in a sales role and then not being successful with sales because that image that sometimes comes up in people's minds. So she breaks it down into the C's. So she has a what is it? 7 C's. 7 C's. And I'll tell you what those 7 C's are. It's a commitment, character, connection, clarity, comprehension, certainty, and choice. And there I am stuck again.
Yeah, you are in the matrix. That's okay. Mark is a real person. He's not a robot.
Yes.
No, I mean those are great, and in talking about relationship selling, I mean the only difference between a contact and a contract is one letter, and that's an R, and R's for relationship. So if you don't have that, then you don't really have a deal. Um, it takes 7 to 12 touches for somebody to finally say yes
yeah.
to products and services that require a substantial investment. I mean, thinking about the last time I bought a major product. I
Mm-hmm.
probably hemmed and hawed about it for months before I decided to finally pull the trigger. And I think the last big purchase I made was I had to buy a new laptop. I did what I could to stretch what I currently had out,
Yeah.
but in trying to do videos and build funnels and surf and do research, I couldn't do anything because my computer was just getting so bogged down due to the age and how much bandwidth is needed nowadays with all the advancements. So it was months before I said, you know what, I'll just bite the bullet, buy it. And so had to research and make sure you get the right one. And it has all the widgets and the whistles and the doodads on it, right? Before you even go into the store and buy it. So and I can tell you the sales experience
Mm-hmm.
is always terrible. Whether you're going into the name brand retail store or an off brand to get the deal, nobody you talk with knows anything about anything, and it is a kind of a frustrating experience. So they need to just get better. We gotta change the world and help people become
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Nothing happens without salespeople.
Yeah.
Nothing in this world happens without salespeople. when you sent that video this past week, Laura, and I watched it with Grant Cardone coming down the sky, raining down the sky in this big platform.
Yeah.
And then he gets down to the bottom and he says that, you know what? He says, the reason I came down like that is because somebody told me that I was showing off too much. And now it's official.
You should have been there. I wasn't. Brandon, you were there.
Not
Were
that
you
one.
there?
Yeah, I was there.
I was GrowthCon 4, I think. Vegas. That was the Vegas before he did the stadium.
Yeah, that one was the best one. I don't know why, but that one was just like top notch best one for some reason.
Yeah, well, let me ask, what did you really get out of that one? What was your I know what I watched it and what I came out of it with.
I've watched that a million times and it's such a comforting thing to watch. I don't know why for me, but I've watched that a million times and I love when the music cues when it's like da 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 da, and like the music's cueing and like bam, he drops out of the sky and he's like, I did that because I've been accused of showing off. I just wanted to make it official. And yeah, and well, the one thing I love so much about what he says, but the one thing that actually helped me make decisions, especially as a person in my career that's, I'm still a very young person. I'm like almost 30. I'm 29, right?
Ooh, all right.
So what I mean to say with that is you have to take an enormous amount of risk and sometimes that just doesn't, it's easier to talk about it than to do it, right? And Grant has this one phrase that he talks about in that specific video, and he talks and he says, I make simple I make decisions like in a very simple way. He says, am I going to expand or am I going to contract? And like that is such a great way to operate and to just make decisions. It's like, even if I'm terrified, does this expand me or does this contract me, right? So every time I make a decision now, especially the decision to change to a different job, right? Even though I was like top dog at a different location. And I was like so terrified to make that choice. And I was like, yeah, it's gonna be more money, more this, but it's like, I mean, I'm talking like I was paralyzed.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
my boyfriend was like, well, what would Grant say? And
Yeah.
like I just kind of searched my memory bank and I was like, well, am I gonna expand or am I gonna contract? Right? That kind of little phrase came back after I've heard it a million times from Grant in that little video there. And he talks about how every decision that he makes is towards expansion, towards improvement, towards making something bigger, towards making himself better, right? And I was like, okay, Laura, this is like your moment. Are you going to expand or are you going to contract? And it's like staying the same is contracting.
Yeah.
That is the one powerful thing that like gets to me.
That's powerful. I know. And we had some problems. We short episode today. I want to let you have some a couple of words, Brandon, before we just sign off.
No, I mean the video was great. I wish I was there in person. It's always better in person, but having experienced GrowthCon, I think it was 4 or 5, whatever 2020 was. Big takeaways from it. In fact, I've eventually purchased the products that were pitched there. Again, it took a while for me to become a customer for some of the speakers there, but it does happen. So there's power in live events, and you can get a lot out of them just from the networking aspect. So if there's an opportunity to go to a conference, definitely go.
Nice. My big takeaway from his speech there was that he's just like us. The only difference is that he takes action and he does it despite what everyone else says. Everyone else tells him, don't do that, don't do this, and he says, okay, and then he goes and he does it, because people will always try to kind of keep you in this bubble, but he does it anyway. And that's the
Yep.
message for today. Network, do it anyway, and get out there and get it this week. Okay, family? Thanks for tuning
Come
in.
on, closers.
Come on, it's called pie. It's for closers. Go out there and close some deals this week, okay?
All right. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Okay. Oh, shoot.